Hey, today I'm going to show you how to make latkes or potato pancakes, whatever you want to call them. They're delicious, and I'm going to put a twist on them because we're going to get more vegetables in our latkes. So stay with me. Hey guys, welcome back to my kitchen. My name's Vicki-Lynne. So glad you could join me again. I love, of course, potatoes. I'm the Starch Solution. Who doesn't love potatoes? And we're always trying to make them healthy and change them up. And I'm going to show you how I make my potato pancakes or latkes, however you make them. Now, latkes are normally deep fried or fried into a lot of oil. We're not doing that here today. We're going to use our griddle, and it's nonstick, so we're not going to use any oil. So they're a healthier version, and we're going to be putting in some vegetables. I like to put in either carrots or zucchini into mine, and I'm going to show you a couple of quick tips on how to make sure that your latkes get nice and crisp without having to use all of the oil that normally comes with them. And I'm going to make mine gluten-free. You can use regular flour. I'm actually going to use a gluten-free blend. Makes it pretty easy. So let's just get started. So the first thing we're going to need is we're going to need to make a flax egg, which is super simple. We're just going to need some ground flax flour and some water. And if you've been a vegan for a while, or if you're new to being a vegan, a flax flour is what we use as our egg replacement in a lot of things. So go buy some flaxseed and a grinder, or you can buy it already ground up. And the normal is 1 tablespoon of ground flax flour to 2 to 3 tablespoons of water, just depending. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to want to stir it. We always do this at the beginning, and then we're going to want to let this sit because we want it to gel up. And it will gel up and almost mimic like an egg because it'll get all jelly. You can also do this with chia, but I find that chia seeds, especially in some recipes, especially baking, depending on what you're making, will just obviously still have that little crunch. Flax seeds are excellent. So make sure you always have flax flour or flax seeds in your pantry with a grinder so that you're always good to go to do a lot of your baking. You can also substitute applesauce. Not in this recipe. We actually want this binder to bind these potatoes and everything together. So now we're going to set that aside. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to do our vegetables, and I'm going to, now you can use a box grater and grate up all of your vegetables. I'm using zucchini today. I love zucchini in this just because it adds that little fleck of green, and it's going to kind of make it a 50-50 for you. So if you're doing the starch solution for maximum weight loss, or you're doing your 50-50 plate, depending on how much zucchini you put in there, it's almost balancing it out with your non-starchy vegetable and your starchy vegetable. So it's a 2 for 1. And then, you put a little applesauce on the top. So leave me a comment down below. Are you pro applesauce, or are you the sour cream kind of person when it comes to these potato latkes and stuff? I know a lot of people like the sour cream. I'm not a sour cream fan whatsoever, so I am team applesauce. Okay, so I'm just going to use my processor to process the zucchini. So bear with me for 1 second. So that was pretty simple. And anything that doesn't get processed, that's your cue to eat that. Just telling you. So put that aside. So now that we have our zucchini that's all processed, what you want to do is take a tea towel, or you can use paper towels, but I find that a tea towel works way better. And you're going to want to put it out in the tea towel. And you're going to want to wring all of that water out of your zucchini. And we're going to do this with the potatoes. And this is what's going to make your zucchini and make your latkes very, very crisp, because water, and you'll see how much water comes out. Water is the issue. This is what will make your Latkes, not crisp. So basically, all that, when you're using oil to deep fry, it's basically zapping the water out for you. So we're going to try to skip that step. But you can see how much water is coming out of that zucchini. Goodness. So when you have as much of the water out, put that aside. You're going to want to put that in your bowl. There we go. I'm going to put my blade back on the right way. I am going to just process a little piece of onion really quick. I know, I could have just chopped that. But if you've been here before, you know I always cry on camera when I chop onion. So I didn't want to chop onion. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing with our potatoes. So the potatoes that you want to use, we'll do this in batches also. The potatoes that you do want to use are russet potatoes. So those are the ones with the darks, the heavier skins. They have a better starch content. So I've already peeled my potatoes. I'm going to let them just dry them off a little bit. And we're going to do the exact same thing. We're just going to process them really quick. And again, you don't need a food processor. You can do this all by hand. It just makes it so much easier, especially if you're making a lot of these. If you're doing this for holidays or anything, it just makes life so much easier. And again, we're just going to process and get rid of all of the water content that's in here. All of that aside. We're just going to do the same thing we did with the zucchini. And you'll see that there's so much water in here. Again, we want to try to, I just find if you keep squeezing and twisting, and just kind of release it a little bit. Okay, that should be good. We're going to put that aside. We'll dump our potatoes. And again, this is really good too with carrot in it. I've tried it with carrot. It's really good. I'm hungry. I'm going to snack. You're just going to mix up your potatoes. So you have your onions, you have your potatoes. I'm going to add some seasoning here. So let's get to our seasoning. Okay, for our seasoning, I'm going to add some salt. If you're salt-free, don't add it. You can add some Mrs. Dash if you want. I'm going to add garlic, and you could also add fresh garlic if you want. I'm going to add a little bit of smoked paprika. I'm going to add a little extra onion powder and some black pepper. Now to this, we're going to add our flax egg now. And I don't know if you can tell, but you can see how gelatinous that is. It's exactly what we want it. We're going to add that in. All of that. And then we're going to add in our flour. Start with about 1/4 cup of flour. Now I'm using about 450 grams of potatoes, which was about 5 medium-sized potatoes. And again, this all kind of depends on how many potatoes you're using, how many zucchinis you're using. Probably could have used another flax egg, to be honest, but that's okay. Just going to mix everything. I'm going to give this a little taste. Delicious. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to show you how to grill them up. So get your griddle nice and hot, and then we're going to just measure out. And you can obviously make them as big or as small as you want. I like to make sure my griddle is screaming hot when I first put them on because we want to sear them. Again, we're not using any fat, and then just turn it down after that. So you get a nice brown. Cut. Okay, so now we're going to give them a flip. Look how gorgeous those are. And that's with no oil, guys, no nothing. Starch solution friendly. Look how great those are. So now we're going to brown them on this side, and then we're ready to eat. Hey guys, so our Latkes are all ready. They're golden brown. They look delicious. I can't wait to dig into these. I hope you guys give this one a try. Let's get these off the grill. So simple to make. Just remember, you got to cook it all up because your potatoes will go brown. That's the only problem. So only make as much as you need. But you can always keep the potatoes separate and in cold water in the sink until you need to start making more in batches and batches. But this is a great recipe, and if you have a couple of griddles going and a big bunch of people, you can make a pile of them. They're healthy, they're delicious, starch solution friendly, vegan, everything, and gluten-free. Hope you've enjoyed this one, guys. Can't wait to see you in the next one. See you soon.